Nope.
There are stories my friends and I had heard that after a certain amount of shrooms, you just get lost in the depths of time and space for hours that feel like years. We all decided this would be a fun experience to have together before we left for college. Two of my friends, whose names, Nick and Steven, I am changing to preserve their identity, had both done shrooms before, but at a significantly lower dose. This was going to be my first time tripping, so I spent some time researching. At some point on some random page in the recesses of a Google search, I found a story of a man who claims to have been stalked during his trip. He claimed that a man dressed in all black, wearing a plague doctor mask and wielding a giant blade, followed him throughout his trip. No matter how many times he opened and closed his eyes, he would continue to see that man following him throughout the universe. When he came out of his trip, he remembered bits and pieces of the man catching him at various points, cutting him here and there, then leaving, only to return a few minutes or perhaps hours later. The worst part was, when he awoke, he found slashes around his body in the same places he was cut. Now, being the paranoid, nervous, hobbit-looking dude I am, I brought up the story to my friends. Of course, they gave me the same BS. You're just being paranoid. This guy just had a bad trip and self-harmed. You'll be fine. We're all experienced. I let them convince me that it would be okay. Later that night, we put on some Always Sunny in Philadelphia and ate the shrooms around 6:30 p.m. These bastards tasted nasty as shit, by the way. Anyway, about 30 minutes or so later, we began to feel the effects. These must have been stronger than the ones Nick and Steven had bought. They were having mad hallucinations, and we were nowhere near close to the peak. The night continued. We checked the time, and it was only 8 p.m. It had felt like hours had passed. That was when the horror show began. We decided to watch a music video by the Gorillas. These guys are creepy as hell. I had never seen a video of theirs before, and I never want to again. I had to close my eyes. I told my friends I needed to leave the room. They were all engrossed in the music video and having a good time. All they said was, "All right, man, do whatever you gotta do." I was sort of hoping someone would come with me. I was freaking the hell out, but I did not want to ruin their time, you know? So anyway, I slowly creaked open the door to leave the room. I looked around and everything seemed fine. I decided to go to the bathroom. As soon as I opened the door, I knew I should go back. Instead, I decided to look in the mirror. Standing behind me was the man in the plague mask. But instead of the weapon they described in the Google search, he held a Bowie knife. I am not a weapon person, so I don't know many names of stuff like that. But I happen to own a knife similar to the one the plague doctor was holding. He put his finger over his mouth in the shh way. I screamed, or maybe I didn't and just thought I did. I have no idea. If I did, then my friends just couldn't hear it. I closed my eyes, then opened them again, and he was gone. I walked back into the room, obviously very shaken. My friends saw my face, drained of blood. They asked if I was okay. They checked my pressure. I tried to tell them what I saw, but managing the words seemed like an impossible task. I sat down and closed my eyes again, hoping to escape reality. I did for a while, until I ended up in a network of dark caves with only red lightning bugs as a source of light. As they flashed on and off intermittently, I kept seeing a figure. I kept seeing the man with the knife, with the mask. I tried to close my eyes, but this time I couldn't. In a rush of time, I saw him move all about the caves, appearing next to me, behind me, on the other side of the cave, everywhere at once. Screams echoed the caves. I tried to find my way out, but he was everywhere. The screams continued indefinitely. I clawed at my ears until they felt wet on the outside. I just wanted to be dead. I awoke sometime later in the morning. The scene around me was out of a horror film. My friends' dead bodies lay strewn about the room. Stab marks in them. In Nick, I counted 50 or more wounds. And Steven was even worse. His arms and legs had been removed from his body, nowhere to be seen. His heart was removed as well. What I couldn't figure out at the time was why I was okay. Why hadn't I been harmed? Based on what I could remember from the night, I had no doubt that it was the man in the mask that had killed them. But then I saw it. Next to Nick's dead body was a Bowie knife. The same Bowie knife the man had chased me with. I looked harder, and at that point, almost puked. In the spruce hilt were initials. My initials. It was my Bowie knife. Hello, dear listener. Thank you for clicking on this week's video. Really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up down below and subscribe for future videos if you haven't already. Well, before we go any further, I've got some splaining to do. First of all, I apologize for not uploading a video last week. I was supposed to upload this one, but I've been out of town for the past 2 weeks on vacation and simply did not find the time to do so. Sorry about that. And because I've been on vacation, I owe a few of you some prizes. If you're listening and are still awaiting your prize, don't worry. As long as you provided me your contact information, it'll be on the way soon. Other than that, I want to remind everybody to stay safe out there, because I'll be seeing you in the next video.